When evil geniuses threaten the world, you can count on someone to stand against them. Just don't always expect them to be human. Like Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest thing alive, and Crash Bandicoot, the boxing marsupial. I'm one fish mob, and I'm here to see what will happen when they go to war. When it comes to sheer scientific genius, very few can compare to Dr. Eggman. With a life mission to build his own empire to rule, he's set his eyes, mind, and scientific genius to do nothing but conquer the world. But his plans wouldn't go unchallenged, for an unlikely foe would rear his head to give the mad scientist a formidable foe: Sonic the Hedgehog. Holding a great hatred of anything unjust, he's spent years rescuing the would-be victims of Eggman's schemes and thwarting the Doctor's evil plans. But in order for this hedgehog to defeat an entire robot army, he'll need more than just quick wits. And lucky for him, he has that. Sonic's most notable ability is his incredible speed. Sonic is able to run several times the speed of sound, if not surpass the speed of light itself. He can casually dodge laser fire and outrun violet voids, which are essentially black holes. But Sonic isn't just fast. He is also strong enough to fight on equal footing with his universe's strongest fighters and casually crushes titanium robots on a regular basis. And despite being, well, a hedgehog, he's actually pretty tough. He survived explosions, burns, and electrocution, and can easily take hits from powerhouses like Perfect Chaos. But with so many different opponents, Sonic has come up with many tricks and techniques for these situations. His most basic attack is the Spin Dash, where he curls into a ball and launches into the opponent. The most commonly used variation of this is the homing attack, where he homes into a target with deadly accuracy. In terms of combat, Sonic mainly uses a combination of capoeira and breakdancing, making for an unpredictable fighting style to trip up his foes. But that's not all he can do. He can create small cyclones, fire waves of energy, attack multiple enemies in rapid succession, and can even temporarily slow down time around him, though this does slow him down as well. But if Sonic needs a little extra juice, he has his arsenal of power-ups to back him up. The Invincibility Shield grants temporary invincibility. The Electric Shield lets Sonic absorb electric attacks, and the Flame Shield does the same as the former, but with fire instead. But none of those compare to Sonic's most powerful tools, the Chaos Emeralds. With these emeralds, Sonic is able to access the highly destructive power of Chaos. Some of the powers granted includes the ability to slow down or stop time completely, teleport from one location to another, or use them one at a time for a power boost. But if he collects all 7 of them and harnesses the power of all the emeralds at once, he can transform into Super Sonic. As Super Sonic, he gains the ability of flight, becomes completely invulnerable to all damage, and enhances his already impressive physicality. In this form, he was able to run for more than a week straight. He can run so fast he went from the Earth to the Moon in less than 6 seconds, and can even become a bolt of lightning to ram into his opponents and cover himself in an energy shield to deflect projectiles. It's no wonder why Sonic was able to save his world so many times. He's defeated demigods, defeated foes that are his superior, and has defeated the forces of Eggman many times, and still continues to save the Earth and whatever world he happens to find himself in. But while Sonic may be quick in some areas, he's a little slow in others. Sonic is cocky and arrogant and will often gloat in front of his opponent. And while Super Sonic is an all-powerful form, powerful opponents like Infinite has been able to counter it. But hey, if you want to beat Sonic to the finish line, you better hope to keep 3 steps ahead.
It was almost too easy.
Dr. Neo Cortex, a notorious criminal of international levels. Willing to leave massive amounts of destruction in his path, Cortex will do anything to achieve his one goal: take over the world. But despite his technological advances, Cortex's body proved too feeble to achieve such a feat, so he decided he'd need an army. After creating a device that rapidly evolved any animal put under it, he then brainwashed them into being his slaves. However, he did not see one single problem: the would-be general, Crash Bandicoot. Unable to be hypnotized, Crash quickly escaped Cortex's clutches and proceeded to thwart his evil plans over and over and over again, cementing him as not only Cortex's greatest failure, but also his greatest rival. And yes, while Crash may not be as smart as Cortex, he does have many more ways of taking down the Mad Doctor. But how can a Bandicoot take down such a mad genius? Well, I'll tell you. Crash is strong enough to destroy boulders and hurt creatures several times his own size, and is strong enough to lift and throw solid blocks of concrete. He survived being completely cut in half and massive explosions. He's even fast enough to outrun a Triceratops and dodge beams of ice. He's also very good at climbing, able to hang from and traverse ledges with great speed. He can take control of large creatures called Titans to use them against other enemies. He's even a great marksman, but Crash isn't an inexperienced baby. He has many abilities up his non-existent sleeve. His signature move is the spin attack, where he spins his body with enough force to send his foes flying and to deflect projectiles. The slide attack can trip opponents, and the body slam is able to break steel crates. But let's not forget, Crash carries a large arsenal as well. He carries a fruit bazooka that fires, well, fruit at opponents. He can turn invisible with the invisibility crate, and can even pilot a mech suit for a little extra power. Speaking of power, he has plenty of power-ups to use. The Death Tornado can spin a lot longer and faster than his normal spin attack. The Crash Dash greatly increases his speed, and the Rocket Jump allows Crash to soar high into the air. But Crash's most potent power-up is no doubt Aku Aku. Once placed on him, Crash becomes overwhelmed with the power of the Ancients, and grants him temporary invincibility to all forms of attack. With all this to help him, it's no wonder Crash has been able to thwart Cortex so many times. He's defeated his own evil clone, tanked a point-blank explosion that sank an ocean liner, can pilot mechs without training, and has taken down foes comparable to gods. But don't let that fool you. Crash has been easily manipulated many times and is easily distracted. But if you want to take over the world, this Bandicoot will put you in bandages. Alright, the combatants are set. This battle shall have no prep time, no outside help, or home field advantage. Let the battle begin.
Where are you supposed to be? Whoa! Try to keep up!
Fight!
pass cool. Now I'll show you. You're too slow.
Talk about a quick ending. Anyway, while both Sonic and Crash shared similar durability feats, Sonic ultimately took this battle by a long shot. Sonic was easily the strongest of the two, having defeated far tougher and stronger enemies than Crash has. But what truly gave Sonic the upper hand was his natural speed. And yes, while Crash may be speedy in his own way, he was just unable to compete with Sonic, who can keep 10,000 steps ahead of the Bandicoot. And while it is possible for Sonic to underestimate Crash, Sonic has already faced off with fighters similar to the Bandicoot before. And while Crash's arsenal could give him a boost, it wouldn't be too much of a problem to Sonic, who fights robots, mechas, and gun-wielding foes on a regular basis. And throwing those out the window, Sonic's control of the Chaos Emeralds pretty much nullified every one of Crash's power-ups and weapons. Crash's only hope for even stopping Sonic was with Aku Aku's invincibility, but all it could do was buy Crash a little more time, especially against the far superior Super Sonic, which could not just outcompete, but also outlast Aku Aku. In the end, Crash just couldn't keep up. The winner is Sonic the Hedgehog.